In this lecture, we will continue with the introduction to functions. Now we have discussed what is the function definition of what is the function declaration or prototype, what do you mean by function definition, and what do you mean by function calling. Now the parameters or the values that we pass through function calling and function definition, what are those values and what is the significance of those values. So these values are known as arguments or parameters. So the argument or a parameter is the value that is passed from the program to the function call. Means once we defined a function, we used to declare some values as parameters to the function. Those parameters are used to catch the values, are used to store the values on which we have to actually execute the function. So when we call the function, we are actually passing the values to the function definition so that the function definition can execute its statements on the values passed through function call. So the arguments, the type of arguments or type of parameters that we pass within function definition is known as formal parameters. And when the values are passed through a function call, in that case these values are known as actual arguments or actual parameters. So how to declare a function with an argument? So declaration of the function will remain same, like return data type, the name of the function, and number of parameters along with their data types. But we have to consider the fact that while declaring a function, we have to match the function declaration with the function prototype and function calling. Means the order, the return type of the function, the name of the function, and the order of passing the parameters must remain same. For example, this particular function declaration, this is the syntax of function declaration, in which we are mentioning the return data type, any function, any fundamental data type, the name of the function, and then their parameters. Any number of n number of parameters can be passed through this function declaration, and then we have to use a semicolon to tell that this is a function declaration. Now we can see the example here. Example: int add int comma int. This particular example is suggesting that the return type of the function, means the value returned by the function, must be of type integer. The name of the function is add, and there are two parameters that we must pass through this function, and both are of type int, and then a terminating semicolon. Next, function definition. So the function definitions format is, as we have discussed earlier, the return data type, then name of the function, then the same number of parameters along with the same data types that we have used in the function declaration. But here we will declare the variables also along with its data type. So data type and variable, data type, variable, n number of data types along with the variable names must be passed through the function. Then under opening and closing braces we can write the executable statements. For example, in this particular function that we have declared, int add int comma int, here we have declared this function. Now we are defining this function right here. So this function definition will be int add. Now here we are passing the values int x comma int y. So x and y are the variables on which the actual function statements will be executing its operation. So we are taking another value z, and we are adding x and y, and we are returning the value of x plus y as z. So this function definition will return the value of x plus y. Now how this x plus y, x and y will be passed? So for that we have to call the function like this. So we will use the name of the function add. Now here we are passing the actual arguments, actual parameters on which we have to execute the operations of function definition. Here we have to calculate x plus y. So we will pass here 5 and 6. The 5 will be copied to x and 6 will be copied to y. So 5 plus 6. The value of 5 plus 6 will be stored in z and it will return the value of z. So in function declaration we have just declared the return type of this function add, declared the name and the types of parameter int comma int.